right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 7 o'clock on the nose. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll call our meeting of City Council to order. I'd ask that you join us in a moment of silent reflection and then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you very much. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I'd ask that you look at the line item 4. Minutes were sent out. Hope you've had a chance to look at those. If there's no additions or corrections, I entertain a motion that we approve line item 4, which includes the 18th of December and the 15th of January meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Scott. Is there a second? Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Good evening, Wyatt. Hello, sir. He brings us greetings from West Virginia Wesleyan College.
Thank you guys for having me. I'll try to keep with the theme for tonight. This will be my last meeting with you guys. There will be another student taking over. I'll be graduating in May, so we're going to try to get somebody else with their feet wet here. Very quickly running through things, we have 32 new students, marking our largest class.
Keep talking, huh?
Our largest class in many years. For the spring semester, we launched the first ever pickleball program on the East Coast, and we have welcomed our first recruit. Student athletes, winter sports are picking up. Men and women's basketball teams play West Liberty on Saturday. The college has received over $1.2 million in grant funds. First grant of just shy of $1 million from the WVFF's Foster Care and Non-Parental Caregivers Target Area. And there is more about that in your packets. There's another grant of just shy of $250,000 from the Behavioral Health and Workforce Development Target Area to support the graduate program in addiction counseling. Center for Community Engagement has a, they want to call it the support program to support nonprofits and community-based organizations with a program tomorrow with Mike Bell and Associates. It's open to Wesleyan students and Buckhannon area businesses. 100 days until graduation. Destination graduation is happening right now at the Opera House for our class of 2026. Orange and Black Days, February 21st. Expect increased traffic in the Buckhannon area as we welcome over 100 families that are accepted to the college. And Wesleyan will once again be hosting the Governor's School of the Arts this summer. We'll host a new STEM program for WV women from 8th grade to high school seniors. More information to come. And that's all that I have for you all.
Thank you, sir. And we will miss you. You've done a great job, and we wish you well. Are you where are you headed from here?
I have been accepted and will start at the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine in July.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Just go down there, finish up, and come back somewhere between the Weston and Buckhannon area once I graduate.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you guys.
You've been
Hey,
very
do you know the
professional.
date for the Governor's Arts thing?
It is not listed. It's sometime during the summer. I will get Elisa to shoot Randy an email with the exact dates for you guys.
All right, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Elisa and Wyatt on their way out together.
I know.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Well, good luck to you. If
Thank
we can
you.
be of any help to you along the way, let us know.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
All right. Up next, we have some representatives from Appalachian Impact. They've been here before, and we've got a little bit of an update. And then they're going to ask us for a letter of support, which I basically already promised.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, so I'm Julie McCourt, this is Kelsey Luteric, and we figured we'd just come and officially have a conversation or let you know a little bit more about us, and ask for that letter of support. So I just have a little statement I'll read to you first. So Appalachian Impact started as strictly mentor-based program about 10 years ago. Since its founding, we've spent the last decade adapting and growing to fill gaps in the Buckhannon community. The last few years, prior to finding space on Main Street, we were located at the Old Hampton Community Building. From there, we've expanded into West Virginia Wesleyan College, creating an elementary after-school program focused on helping children find their sparks. The kids are able to experience different areas of the college and be exposed to early career options that may help shape their future. We currently have 15 students in our 4th semester at the college. Just in the last couple of years, we've maintained a growing after-school program, partnered with local businesses to provide a summer engagement calendar, hosted youth vendor shows to promote youth entrepreneurship, and started a community recognition series rewarding community members, and hosted several other free or low-cost events. Our long-term goal has always been to find a way to grow enough to independently sustain our youth programming and events that we host. When the building on Main Street became available, we knew we wanted to create an indoor space focused on education and engagement for Upshur County's families, which could also help us sustain our program. We've been working diligently since the past spring to turn this dream into reality. The Adventure Center will be a hub for youth of all ages to come interact, learn, and explore as a children's museum. Part of our vision for this center is to create an outdoor space utilizing the side lot beside our building and Dairy Queen. We're currently in the process of applying for a grant that will allow us to beautify the space by updating fencing and landscaping, adding seating, and children's interactive displays. We've come this evening to request a letter of support from the City of Buckhannon to improve the space on Main Street to create a safe and welcoming option for families to utilize. And notably, IT is not my strong suit, but I did come up with a couple of mock-ups just that you could pass around. But so the letter of support is just it has that blue and white fencing, I'm sure you could remember, but just replace it with similar black iron fencing like you guys have. And then, so that's this photo, and then this is kind of just with the fence removed, you could see what it would look like.
We have had some conversation at our Consolidated Public Works Board meeting about replacing that fence with the black, keeping the theme of that's. I'm sure you've seen it across the street at Stockert, down Florida Street. It looks really nice. Yeah. So yeah, we've had some conversation there. So certainly something we would be interested in partnering with you on.
Okay. The grant is through T-Mobile. It's a T-Mobile hometown grant, but it's just for beautifying and updating old spaces on main streets in particular. So, and we need to have 5 letters of support from stakeholders in the community in order to do that. So, but yeah, that would be great.
Well, Mr. Mayor, since I've been giving him a hard time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve a letter of support for this endeavor.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. Is there any further discussion on this?
Or any other questions in general that we can?
I think we would like to, I mean, in addition to the letter of support, I think we'd also like, provided that you're successful with it, work with you on it. And if you're not successful in getting the grant, I think we'd still, because conversations have happened, I think we'd still be interested in working with you on how to beautify that section. Because like I said, we just, this past meeting in January, we had a conversation about that fence.
Okay.
So.
Does their fencing actually by Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's along the front and then it does turn.
Okay. Does that belong to them or you guys?
I think it's Dairy Queen's.
Okay.
But I mean.
Talk with Kay.
Yeah.
See, yeah,
And we'd like to
exactly.
provide an access point from Main Street into that space because right now it's just closed off. So if we do have like the picnic tables and the climbing features, we'd like to have a gate so people on Main Street could get into the area.
Wonderful. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. There is a motion and a second on the table. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for that question to provide the letter of support for the grant application. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Remind me when this deadline is?
March 31st.
Okay.
And so you would like us to email you or just?
You can just email Teresa.
Okay.
And just kind of give her just a couple bullet points
Okay.
that you've been made aware of that are like imperative that, could help us to get this, okay?
Perfect.
Yep, and we'll include that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Buckley, what was the question you asked Wyatt?
About the fence that actually goes next to the.
No, Wyatt from Wesleyan. You asked
Oh,
about
him,
certain
oh, okay.
dates.
The government arts program over there.
The GSA?
Yeah,
All right, they just sent me those dates.
oh, okay.
And the GSA comes in on June 15th and will actually run until June 30th. Oh, I'm sorry, until July 12th.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was about a month long.
Right, about a month long. So
wow.
there you go. So it begins June 30th to July,
You said June 15th.
I'm sorry,
June 15th, July.
June 15th, thank you, through
July 12th.
July the 12th. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, I don't believe we have anybody here for public comments. We'll go right to the financial report with Amby.
You're giving me so much anxiety, I've got to hurry through this and I don't know.
Hey, you were the one that said you're ready to go home today, so this is all for you.
Okay, well, I'll talk as fast as I can. For the month of January, the balance is in general fund money market, $1,231,000. And then the CDs at $89,000, which will move to municipal stabilization, which is a little conversation later on here. Historic landmarks is $3,045. Poll tax is $48,000. Municipal stabilization is $1,006,000. That includes three CDs that I just recently closed to let council decide how I can reinvest those to be more fluid. And then there's another CD out there that won't mature until January 27 of $260,000. So we need to put that $89,000 in there, and on down in the actions for approval, I would like you to give me permission to invest that in Board of Treasury investment, because those funds I can add and take from easily. So I can add the CDs as they mature to them, and the interest rates are always very high, and I don't have to wait any long term. There's no term to it. They just keep giving you high interest rates.
We just had a presentation at Municipal League about, and that a lot of cities are going to
A
this.
lot of them are. It's an easy, really good place to keep watching your money. It's easy to do that, access it and everything. Flood control account is at $78,000. Consolidated Public Works Board $177,000, with their cemetery CD at $241,000. Sales taxes at $1,884,000. And of course, just a reminder, American Rescue Plan Act is finished. We're at zero on that balance. I won't be reporting that anymore after this. Opioid account is $106,000. Stockert, those donations that we have for anyone to ask for their donations back is $307,000. The revenues for the month of January in general fund were $1,052,000. Now that includes $800,000 that we pulled over from sales tax that was already accounted for in our budget. So we pulled $800,000 over into the revenues, so that's why it's so high. Expenditures are at $747,000. And then the invoices that you're going to approve, I'm going to point out a few. Create Buckhannon, we expensed their $10,000 request that was already approved in the budget. We expensed that to them this in January. Trade work, $17,000 for Buckhannon curbs, $3,300 Casey Earls for Stockert Youth Center basketball T-shirts, and then groundworks. In January we expensed $9,300. We had also made a deposit in December, so it was $12,000 for the dewatering of the Stockert Youth Center gymnasium to keep that water from infiltrating. So the whole project was $12,000. We did get a donation from St. Joseph's Hospital to the Colonial Arts Center for $10,000. They've been a good partner with us there. And so they gave us a $10,000 donation. And on that same line, Colonial Arts Center is going to be having a show next week, a musical play, 12th through the 14th. That's in your packet. But the tickets are $10 for general admission, $5 for seniors. So if you have a Valentine person you want to bring to Buckhannon for dinner and a show, you can do that next week.
Right. Cupid. Look at Cupid up there.
There you go.
And then Stockert Youth Center had 4,651 hours of activities in the month of January. And that's the part that I have to report financial minus the other items that we.
Why don't we just roll back up, kind of backwards here, starting with approval of payment of bills. And we just went over with us some bills that were outliers. Would you, under number 7D, would you motion and second to approve the payment of our bills?
So moved.
Motion by Jack, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robert. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Approval to reinvest municipal stabilization fund. This is the CDs that Amby just mentioned that are expiring. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, those 3Ds total up about $746,000. And then at that same time, then I'd be able to put the $89,000 in there. I'll probably have to come to you at the next meeting for some resolutions to that, but no, nothing other than that.
I like this route. I think it makes a lot of sense for us. So I entertain a motion that we approve Amby's recommendation to roll those CDs to the West Virginia Municipal Board of Treasury. A motion by Pam, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign opposed, motion carries. And now we've got a budget revision.
Yes, in a general fund budget revision 2026-02, and in your packet, you'll see the documents that I sent to the state auditor's office, the resolution, and the breakdown per category. But the pages that you would be most interested in are the pages towards the back of that resolution that have the Excel sheet that I generally do that have a lot more detail in it. I'm going to try to just skip through this as quickly as I can. The entire budget revision is a difference of $144,730. So I'm just increasing the revenues that much and increasing the expenditures that much. Not really pulling anything more from sales tax or anything like that. The revenues are covering these additional expenses. I think I'd rather go down to the expenses and tell you what they are first. Okay, and mayor's office salaries, we overestimated that, so we're going to actually reduce that to $20,000. And then increase the insurance, $3,000, and a professional survey, a walk trail survey that got paid out $1,100. Fireworks expense, we had, council approved Strawberry Festival, a category, an allocation of $50,000. Now, that being said, $35,000 would be expense to them, and then $15,000 was supporting documents. And then there was a request that also is in the agenda for $1,500 to the community band as a recommendation for revenue review. We have outside agencies, $8,000 that was approved to senior center, $5,000 had already been approved to collaborate for Focus Marketing Group for $5,000. And we also previously approved $2,500 to CDU for equipment and Upshur Leadership for $2,500. So $13,000 change there. There was some minor adjustments in zoning. We had to add the election in there. I don't know how we missed that in the first budget, but we did. I saw we added it and then removed it for some reason. So $9,000 to cover the election in May. Council contingencies would be reduced by $39,500. That covers those expenses. We had that $10,600 for the wreaths, the Christmas wreaths back in December. The event request of $25,000 for the festival. Community band $1,500, senior center. So those are going back up into the revenues, is more or less what that means. Our LET expenses, we have been writing more tickets, so we have more expenses to expense for the to CDR and LET that goes to the state, and the regional jail fees that go to the state. So we had to increase those because we had more tickets being written. It's getting covered up there in the revenues. Fire department capital outlay. We originally budgeted $92,800 to finance and refurbish a truck. We have not done that yet, so I'm taking about half of that out to cover some items down. The $30,000 JBS for $30,000 in training facility. So we want to move $30,000. You'll see it down at the bottom. We also needed to cover fire health category for $16,000, and then we had some new fiber, so we got a monthly expense there we hadn't categorized for $47,000. is being pulled from there and recategorized below. Street department, the group insurance, we had to put 30,000 in that. We had to put the 10,600 in there from those wreaths that we expensed out of their category from contingency to street. Street department projects, we had at December 31st, we had 127,911 left in that budget. And that was already earmarked to go to Buckhannon Street project, 30,000 to sidewalk, or 60,000 to sidewalks, 30,000 to the Buckhannon Street project. And we have $25,000 set aside for we're calling it the Route 20 mural project. It's actually for some sidewalk and lighting. We need to add, Jawbone needs to add an ADA ramp to it. So we've added $30,000 into the street project for that. Under street capital outlay, $24,000. We had purchased a trailer from an auction for $17,000, and we had to rebuild a street sweeper for $17,000. As a side note, the trailer they purchased, they're going to auction another trailer and hopefully get some of that back, but I have to pull that out of something up in revenues. CAC salaries, we aren't expensing nearly as much there, so we took out 10,000 there, we took out 7,000 in supplies, but we had to up the theater capital 17,000, so those two are just crossing each other out. We had to do some HVAC work in the main hall to prep for a new HVAC unit, so we had to relocate some sprinklers, we're going to have to do some drywall there, and we had to change some ductwork. So that's what that 17,000 is taken care of. I'm just going to jump on down to public safety training facility. JB said some double layer walls needed to be added to protect the outside side walls. So that 30,000 is in there for it. Real quick now, we'll jump back up to the revenues real quick. I've got me totally confused, I'm sure. But up at the revenues, to cover some of these expenses at the bottom, B&O, I increased it 21,000. Looks like we're going to collect more this year than we budgeted for. B&O contractors. It is a bit of a restricted account. It can only go towards capital improvements and maintenance. So that $30,000 ADA ramp, I'm adding 30,000 in there because we collected more B&O to take care of that. Then, of course, the court costs, we've collected way more, so we had to increase those budgets to cover the expenses we were doing down at the bottom. We had a little bit of expense, $1,500 for fire department grant. That's that same grant we did last year, but there was a $1,500 expense that we made in this fiscal year. And we got the actual revenues in this fiscal year, so that's just upping that account to cover that expense. Event center revenues, I think I missed telling you about that down the bottom. We put 5,000 in event center revenues because you're doing a lot of things out there and we're collecting more money, so we're reinvesting it back into those supplies or whatever you need out there for 5,000. And then as far as Stockard's revenues, the karate class and after school revenues, they're doing well. There's more people coming to that class, so we had to increase revenues, but because the expenses increased. And then we collected more in miscellaneous revenue, and that we do expect to auction off that larger trailer for $20,000, which will cover that $17,000 expense. Have I confused you? Okay, good. That's all I had for the revenue.
That's it?
That's it.
And I need some Dramamine after that trip.
I tried. It's not exciting, but.
Oh, I'm contrary. I think it's very exciting.
Yep.
Well, we're fortunate to be in a position where we can make improvements and nothing really has to change from we're not borrowing from, one to the other, so.
Yeah, we're just moving the money around in those budgets.
Any questions for Amby relative to the budget revision?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
So before we do that, I was gonna ask you, we know what we just were talking about, but in that budget revision includes the $1,500 expenditure to the Buckhannon Community Band. They made a presentation to the Revenue and Expense Review Committee. Do you want to quickly approve that and then approve the budget revision, since the budget revision includes that?
That'd be good.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve? We have a motion by Randy to approve the $1,500 investment to the Buckhannon Community Band. They're hosting the inaugural West Virginia Community Band Festival here in May. So we're helping them out a little bit. That's going to be up at the high school. They made a presentation to us a couple weeks ago. So we have a motion by Randy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Now we'll do the budget revision. Jack, does your motion still stand?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by, I'll give it to Pam this time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. And then Amber, your last line item is the city
roll call.
election.
Yeah, we just had that.
Oh,
resolution
that's right.
in.
I'll defer to you for that.
We'll do a roll call on the budget revision. Mayor Skinner?
Yes.
Mr. Sanders votes yes. Mrs. Bucklew?
Yes.
Mr. Rigger?
Yes.
Mr. Zuliani?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes.
I'll circulate for your signatures in a little bit.
Thank you.
And then just real quick on budgets, we will start the new budget sessions very soon. We've got things about ready to go. We're going to ask the departments for their input, and then we'll start reaching out to you when you want to have some of those budget sessions.
Okay. And lastly, under your line item, you'll see in the packet, right past the budget, right past the numbers, is the certification of candidates for the City of Buckhannon municipal election coming up this May. You'll see the list, their addresses, and you'll see that this was, Amby was here on Saturday and got the doors closed up right at noon, and she has signed the paper that's given under her official signature and seal the second day of February, certifying the candidates that will be participating in the election this upcoming May. She does this in her office as Assistant City Recorder.
Yes. The last, of course, the election, there's 13 candidates for council, one for recorder, and last day these candidates can withdraw if they decide they don't want to run is February 17th, and the drawing for those positions on the ballot will be February 24th at the courthouse.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Amby. As I noted before the meeting started, we do not have a Public Works report this evening. Ethan is not with us, but right past the certification of candidates, you will see, and this was circulated out this afternoon, our building wiring permits. You see that list. If there are no additions, corrections, or questions, I'd entertain a motion that we approve those as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Scott, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, that motion carries unanimously. Up next is Fire Chief J.B. Kimball. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Good.
I'll be as brief as possible. We're in the midst of changing software from ESO to First Due Fire software. So I don't have a total in. I will be getting it to you. We responded, since my meeting was canceled in January, so we responded to 1,114 incidents last year. That's a 3.5% increase over the year before. So far this year, January started off pretty uneventful, but the last 2-3 weeks have been really eventful. So been some really cold nights, slick roads, below zero fires, and it's been pretty eventful. So to follow up on some stuff, our new firefighter, probationary firefighter Josh Bowers is doing very well. He's passed his firefighter 1, he's passed his hazmat. Actually, we're going tomorrow to do his live burns, and he will be taking his firefighter 2 here shortly, and he'll be ready to be put on a fire engine. He very positive young man, very good shape young man, very positive addition to our group. So glad he's there. Training center is going well. The first floor, as Andy spoke, we had to go back and kind of double wall some of the burn rooms. We want longevity, so we talked to some people and double the walls with some insulation. That way it doesn't burn the Connex box out so fast, because you're talking 1,000 degrees or more. So we're just being proactive, going back as we go. So the first floor should be complete within hopefully a week. We'll be able to officially burn on the first floor. The second floor is not near as big as the first floor, so the second and third floor should not take as long. Weather, appreciate everybody during some of this weather for not being out as much as they normally are. Our car wreck incidents were not as bad as, of course, when people are driving in the snow, hopefully they're driving slower and the incidents have not been as bad. Please, we've had a rash of chimney fires, which a lot of chimney fires turn into attic fires, which turn into burning the house down. Please, if you're burning a chimney for the first time in several years, which a lot of people are doing, please have your chimneys checked out. Yesterday, I got to sit in a luncheon with Scott's sister at Wesleyan. Wesleyan's, partnered up with our mental wellness program. We had 24 people at our biannual or bi-monthly mental wellness peer support group meeting. It's growing now. We had Barber County, we had Harrison County there, Randolph County there, Upshur County, Lewis County. So it's growing, and our coaching certificates are really coming to tuition, because we've had 7 call-outs in the last 2 months for people needing assistance, and those are going very well. So tickled to death about that. And that's all I really have, unless you have a question. I do have 2 things on the that we do annually, the fire response standards of coverage and the services offered. The services offered is a definite, I present this every year. I mean, obviously we fight fire, obviously we do technical rescue, and if you look in the technical rescue area, we are the only swift water rescue team in Upshur County. We recently got our new trailer, we have 2 boats. We have several technician level swiftwater individuals now, and very proud of that. That is a big feat to get that many people certified. We are reaching out. We do have 1 Washington District fireman that was interested. He has joined the team and took the training and has become a contributing member of the Buckhannon Fire Department. So he responds for just water rescues. He doesn't respond for anything else. But he falls under our authority and our policies and procedures for that. Also, as you slide on down, we do emergency medical services, and if you read that, I've reiterated this several times. We respond to 5 criteria of medical calls inside the city limits, emergency medical calls, automatically. Those were based off the feelings that we felt were the worst ones that we needed to go to. In the city limits, we're the authority having jurisdiction. We can determine what we do in the city limits. Outside the city limits, it would be an agreement between us and Upshur County EMS. It would not be anybody else. They are the authority outside the city limits. So that would have to come, request would have to come from Upshur County EMS to make that an automatic call. Right now, if they need assistance outside the city limits, they call for us. And we respond, but it's not an automatic dispatch. So that being said, those are the services. There's some non-emergency services there we offer: patient lifting, animal rescues, vehicle accidents with no injuries, traffic control for law enforcement, water basements if we have the staffing available, and utility lines down. So if you all could give me the okay on that, and then we'll move to the next one.
No changes.
No changes.
All right,
Other than the swift water, that's the newest.
Right.
which we noted also in the State of the City address.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so letter A, I entertain a motion that we approve the services offered by the City Fire Department.
So moved.
Motion by Jack, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Randy. Any further discussion? Hearing the need for none, I'll call for that question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries.
So going to the next one, Mayor, if you don't mind. It's fire response standards of coverage. This is basically every year we look at this and reevaluate. So when you look at a low-risk fire, we've came up, that takes 4 people and 1 engine. Okay, that would be, you know, a dumpster fire or something like that to that effect. A moderate risk fire is a small residential fire, you know, a single small building fire. And then you get into the large risk fires, special, and then you get into more apparatus, more people. So when you look at those, there's, you know, each section, like you have a command and safety staff, you have fire attack, you have backup auto crew, you have surge ventilation. So that's our estimate of how many people it takes to effectively do that, okay? So whenever we come back from a, say, a moderate or a high-risk fire, I do a after-action review, and I determine the time it took to get to that many people. And when you look at structure fires in the city and in our first due, to just normal moderate risk fires, it takes about 24 minutes. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's 24 minutes to reach that 16 people. Okay, when you look at the high risk of 27, it's usually 35 minutes to get to that. So it takes us 35 minutes to get the effective response force for that type of fire. Typically that's a commercial fire or a very large house fire, like a 5,000 square foot house or bigger. So those are just goals, and we try to effectively create that data to show how long it takes as people show up. You know, you'll have your first 3 or 4 people in under 5 minutes, and then you'll have 8 people at the 9-minute mark, you know, as people approach and how many fire engines show up. So it just takes that long because our mutual aid is so far away, and, you know, with the limited staffing that we do have. So that is just a goal, and I just, you know, you can vote on that as a goal. I we can't take that as, you know, that's what we have to be doing, but this is what we should be trying to achieve in a timely manner.
You understood you to say that you do the after-action studies and reports to help compile this. There's also national data. Is that taken into consideration?
Yep. So NFPA actually,
Right.
anything in a area of like ours in the city, they want 15 people in 9 minutes or less, and we cannot achieve that.
How about the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's office? Are they involved, or are there data? Is any data from them?
Very little. Very little data.
But the national stats. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief Kimball? I agree with you. I think it's good to point out that these are goals and what we want to live up to.
Yes.
So,
Gives you the best outcomes.
I entertain a motion that we approve the fire response standards of coverage that Chief Kimball just whatever with this.
I'll second.
Motion by Randy, second by Pam. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion
Y'all,
carries.
be safe with the snow this weekend.
Same to you. Thank you. City Attorney Tom O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. It's good to see you. Warm and cozy in here as opposed to outside. Before I get to the item on the agenda, just as a reminder, we have our first hearing on the condemnation process for the new water treatment plant on the 25th. I will attend that with Jay Holland. We don't need any other representation there necessarily. If somebody feels very strongly that they'd like to attend, it's open to the public. But we've got it, and we'll report back the first March meeting about how that went and everything. We're going to need to, and I'll work with Andy on this, we're going to need to, if we haven't done so already, deposit our estimate of just compensation.
So March 25th, you said?
February 20th.
February
20th. Thanks. Go ahead.
We need to deposit with the circuit clerk our estimate of just compensation if we have not already done so. I'll work with Andy to make sure that that happens before the hearing. And if there are no questions, I'll read the ordinance by caption. The council has before it ordinance number 477 of the city of Buckhannon, an ordinance providing for the expenditure of public funds for the purchase of materials, supplies, and equipment, increasing the threshold purchasing amount above which the provisions of ordinance number 438 shall be effective, and providing for severability. This is the first of 2 readings. Basically, this ordinance is pretty simple. It just takes our $25,000 threshold for the effectiveness of the purchasing ordinance and changes it to $50,000. That was a request from a couple city departments in light of increasing costs and trying to prevent us from having to go through a whole process when we don't necessarily need to.
Any questions about that? Yesterday's 25,000 and today's 50,000. Big deal. That's the mantra. Okay, on first reading, I entertain a motion that we approve ordinance 477 as presented by Mr. O'Neill.
So moved.
Motion by Scott, is there a second? Second by Rob. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. We will schedule that second reading at our latter meeting of City Council in February.
Thank you much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
A couple of business discussions tonight. We've been asked to appoint an additional person to the Buckhannon Upshur Regional Airport Authority. They have room for an additional person from the city. So it helps them, it helps us. So I'd ask that you approve Jared Ramsey as our additional appointment to the Airport Authority.
So moved.
Motion by Pam, is there a second? Second by Randy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. We appointed Paula McGrew to the Planning Commission, but she had to step away for some health issues in her family, not necessarily her, but her family. So I'd ask that you approve adding Stephanie Rockwell to the Planning Commission. Stephanie and her husband have invested heavily right across the river here at the Woody's Car Lot, and then, Woody's Car Wash, and then there's a boutique in that building with apartments upstairs, and they've been restoring a house up on Florida Street. So I think she'd be a really good addition to our Planning Commission. So I'd ask that you appoint her to fill Paula McGrew's vacancy.
So moved.
Motion by Jack, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. And then, given last year, we scrambled at the very end and went ahead and gave Christmas Eve off to our city employees. Christmas Eve is not hardwired into the list of holidays observed by the state of West Virginia, even though it seems every governor coming down the pike will at the end of the year say, oh, let's go ahead and give Christmas Eve off. I would like for us to give Christmas Eve off to our employees. That will be on a Thursday this year, so that everyone can plan and it's already known, and we are not going to come down the pike and have to scramble. I'd like for us to go ahead and add to the calendar of observed holidays Christmas Eve 2026 for our employees, and everybody can plan accordingly.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Randy, a second by Pam. Any further discussion on that matter? Again, that will be Thursday. Christmas is on a Friday, so it'll be a 4-day weekend for our employees. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, we are down to council comments and announcements. I think Randy wanted 7:45, so folks, it's up to you to make that happen. So Scott, we'll begin with you.
I'll just say I'm very excited and eager to have the opportunity to continue to serve. Appreciate Wyatt, best wishes. He was a great conveyor of Westland and its values. I wish him the best. I really appreciate Appalachian Impact. I think it's a wonderful and unique addition to the community. And big congrats to our new firefighter, Mr. Bowers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Pam?
He said everything I was going to, so I'm not going to repeat it. I was glad to see these girls come too, and I'd like to see you come back.
Pam knew the meeting's going to be short. She didn't even take off her coat.
I'm cold.
She didn't stay a while. Jack?
I have quite a list. We'll be a while.
Oh.
I don't have anything. We're good.
Thank you, sir. Robert?
And I think what you guys are doing are great with Appalachian. If anything we can do to help us personally or collectively, or if we can network to help you guys do, that's something great for the community. And then just to commend, I've done this every meeting, but the city workers have been fantastic. It's been brutal outside with the temperature, just collecting garbage and waste, to even stay on some type of a schedule, constantly clearing, salting, everything, and they should be commended because it's been a brutal, it's not a normal winter.
Yep.
That's it.
Thank you, sir. Randy?
Okay, report of events, correspondence, and information. The CAC Gallery showcases Al Tucker's West Virginia photography now through February 28th. West Virginia Wesleyan College presents Maltby and Shires Closer Than Ever, February 12th through the 14th. Upcoming events at the Event Center at Brushy Fork, February 7th, BUHS Band Booster Bingo. February 13th, the Talent Blood Drive by WVU Medicine St. Joseph's Hospital and Rotary Club of Buckhannon Upshur. February 14th, Hands and Hearts for Christ fundraiser. And we have the Central West Virginia Friends of the NRA scheduled. That's going to be rescheduled. And that is it. How was that?
Well, we made it. So, thanks everybody for a great meeting, and at 7:45, I entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
All right.